Let's go back and start at the beginning. In 1999, after the critical and commercial success of Age of Kings, work began on a follow-up expansion, The Conquerors. Now, Huns may initially seem like a strange choice in a medieval strategy game, as they weren't a medieval power, and in fact lost most of their relevance by the time historians consider just the start of the Middle Ages. Luckily, the lead designer of the expansion, the legendary Sandy Peterson, has some interviews documenting his thoughts at the time leading up to release that give us some insights about what they were thinking behind the scenes. When asked why they picked the Huns instead of Magyars, Slavs, or Russians, etc., his answer was simply that Huns were famous and exciting, while making for terrific bad guys. Certainly, the campaign has you roleplay as a conqueror and destroyer as opposed to a builder for a change. Peterson went on to explain that the Huns being specific to that time period was also viewed as a strength, since people would associate them with that time period specifically, as opposed to Poles or Russians, which still exist today and have other associations, like World War II as an example. I have to believe the choice of Huns also made things a bit easier in other ways, as when you start including civilizations that still exist, at times it feels like nationalism can start to creep in. And I'm sure the current developers can attest you have to be very careful with how you present cultures in the game if people who identify with the culture are still around today. With the
of the kin is inconstant, and therefore heaven assists me to obtain the throne. The Sung to the south, the Hui Ho to the north, the Hia to the east, and the barbarians in the west all together have acknowledged my supremacy. It seems to me that since the remote time of our Chanyu, such a vast empire has not been seen. But as